Welcome back to the Cinema Sessions. My name is Keith, and as always, I'm joined by
Seamus. Hello.
This week we are talking about one of the most intense crime thrillers of the last 20 years, Sicario. Released in 2015 and directed by Denis Villeneuve, with a screenplay by Taylor Sheridan. Sicario stars Emily Blunt, Benicio Del Toro, Josh Brolin, and Daniel Kaluuya. It's a film that drops you into the brutal reality of the US-Mexico drug war, where the line between justice and revenge becomes almost impossible to see. We'll be discussing Villeneuve's masterful direction, Roger Deakins' stunning cinematography, Jóhann Jóhannsson's haunting score, and whether it's one of the greatest modern thrillers ever made. We'll also get into those unforgettable border crossing sequences, the dinner table scene, Benicio Del Toro's incredible performance, and ask whether Emily Blunt's Kate Mesa is the audience's moral compass or simply someone caught in a game she never understood. So grab some cocaine, get comfortable, and let's cross the border into Sicario.
Nice.
Before we get started, we've actually got something to celebrate. This episode marks 1 full year of the Cinema Sessions, so a huge thank you to everyone who's listened, watched, commented, subscribed, shared an episode, or even just recommended to a friend. When we started this podcast a year ago, we honestly had no idea where it would go, but we've loved every minute of talking films with all of you. So whether you've been with us since day one or you've only just discovered the podcast this week, thank you for being part of the journey. Here's to another year of great films, heated debates, and hopefully a lot more laughs along the way.
Oh no.
Hey!
Nice touch.
One more for good luck. Happy birthday, Seamus.
Thank you. Many happy returns.
Oh no, we smell like a candle
To
now.
be a year old again.
We should have got party hats.
We missed a trick there. All right, yeah.
Oh, right. So, Sicario, 1 year. Where we go?
Yeah, well.
Great podcasting to start off.
Yeah, why did you pick this particular one for the year anniversary? I'm not saying it was a bad choice, but what was the thought process?
The thought process was, I fucking love this film, and I wanted an excuse to fucking watch it again and to really get into it, like, do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Because I know we have a tendency to kind of blow our muck early on this podcast, but I have to throw my cards on the table. I think this is one of the greatest films of the past 20 years, definitely. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it's an absolute masterclass in every aspect. Direction, cinematography, writing. Taylor Sheridan's script is absolutely phenomenal. Like, do you know what I mean? To the point where even I can come to terms with the conservative tone of the film, like, do you know what I mean? Whereas normally I'd have a real issue with it, but it's done so fucking masterfully. You leave it going, well, everything they did was justifiable, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's how...
Yeah.
And even the acting, like, Emily Blunt, the fact she didn't get an Oscar, I don't even know, did she get nominated? I can't remember now.
I wasn't paying much attention at the time.
What won? I think this is the year Spotlight won the Oscars. So, I mean... I was a fan of Spotlight, but I can kind of... But the fact that this got best cinematography, best score. And I think that's about it. Sound editing. Yeah, that's it. But like, the fact that this didn't get... It's best screenplay. Best original screenplay.
Well, it's often mentioned in terms of Denis Villeneuve, but I think... Actually, no, they'd be kind of equal. Like Taylor Sheridan, this was the start of his writing career, and... what's that fucking Western show? That was Yellowstone. That was like the biggest show on TV for years.
Yes, the Yellowstone cinematic universe now, or television universe.
So it was kind of the start of his auteurship, if you'll forgive the turn of phrase.
Which is a very strange thing as a writer, to have so much control, like, over all aspects of...
Well, this was very clearly something different. And then it's not as popular, but his follow-up to this as a writer, Hell or High Water, is really good as well. And the one he directed, Wind River, I think this film could have turned out more like that if they'd have kept its original script. There's stuff in Wind River when I'm like, okay, this is you as a writer, kind of getting a bit lost in the words here.
Yeah. Which one is Wind River? Is that the one with
that's the Jeremy Renner
and
one on the
Olsen
one? Yeah, the one
she
on
gets
the
killed or something, is it?
Native American reservation. No, she lives, I think.
sexual assaulted something? Well, is that the whole point of it?
Oh yeah, sorry, a girl, oh Jesus, I can't actually remember. Yeah, they're Native Americans on a reservation, and she gets, I can't remember if she gets, yeah, she does, yeah, the girl gets raped and killed.
Yeah, okay.
And
Which way to start?
then then Elizabeth Olsen shows up with Jeremy Renner's like a guy who lives on the reservation anyway, and he just kind of goes out on his own. It's a little long-winded.
Does he go off the reservation?
Kind of, yeah. It does. It's pretty good, but it's a little too long.
I enjoyed that film. I've seen it. I didn't realise Taylor Sheridan directed that.
Yeah, as far as I remember.
idea.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw a documentary with him. Sorry, an interview with him where he said like they got the money from like the elders of a Native American tribe or something because they wanted to publicize that issue.
That sounds fake.
Yeah, apparently so. Well, they have that casino money, I suppose they can throw it around. Yeah. Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, and he literally plays like a sharpshooter in except not with a bow and arrow. No, it's pretty good, but there was bits and I remember where like it was too talky, and apparently they cut a lot of Del Toro's dialogue out of this, and I'm like, that's sometimes why you need, you know, a director who's like, hang on now,
because what they do, the whole point, the reason Benicio gives such a great performance in this is because he doesn't say anything, and so when he does say something, it's like really like, for instance, one of the quotes of the films, your American ears wouldn't understand this, like that's, and he says that and you're like ice cold, do you know what I mean? And like one of the greatest sequences in modern filmmaking possibly ever happens in this film when the Juarez sequence, and even just how he delivers that line. He doesn't welcome to Juarez.
Oh yeah, and that's a moment I'm going to talk about ad nauseum when we get to it. No, so yeah, the film is now 11 years old, which is highly depressing. And it was sorry to talk about the Del Toro thing as well. I remember a friend of mine years, and he wrote a script and. You know, he was going to film it, paid for it himself, and he was like, what do you think of the script? And as usual, he just wanted me to say I loved it and then move on. But I did say, well, I could suggest a few trims, like he'd, you know, not to knock the guy, but he'd write like 3 paragraphs at a time for actors to say. And I was like, yeah, well, most of the time I find myself going, the first paragraph kind of covered it, but he goes like, no, I'll cut it down with the actors. And I was like, no fucking actor is going to say, give me less lines. Are you off your nut? And I stand by that statement, which is why Del Toro's choice to go along with cut a lot of this shit out is truly great and unusual and shows what kind of an actor he is and how clever he is. He was like, whatever his thought process was, he knew it would be better to say less.
Because, I mean, it's a real mark of trust in a director, like, to be able to... Because the cleverness, as you said, like the intelligence to be able to go, no, this character is better because he's a strong Soylent type, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works so much. It'd be interesting to see just what he was supposed to be saying.
Yeah, the script is out there apparently. I didn't get around to reading it, but like it started off with a voiceover. The film started off with him torturing someone. You saw his dream on the airplane, which was a brilliant cut because it's much better without it. And there's a few videos that I was watching like on YouTube, you know, why he's the secret main character, because the problem the second one runs into, ironically, is that there's no Emily Blunt, who like a screenwriting guru would tell you, cut her out of this movie. But without that, the second one, I'm just like, but actually, do you remember the trailer for the second one? It's Josh Brolin going to Benicio Del Toro. This time the gloves are off. And I'm like, what? They had gloves in the first one? What the fuck? Like,
because I did notice that, because in the second one, like, I mean, obviously the second one, I do feel like it completely misses Denis Villeneuve's direction. Because now I know tonally they wanted to go for a more action-packed type of thing, right? But the second one as a film on its own, I think is very good. But comparatively to the first, it is such a drop-off.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, according to Taylor Sheridan, he wanted this to more as an anthology-style type thing. That it's not like a direct sequel to Sicario 2, but obviously studios and everything, no, this is Sicario 2, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He wanted to call it Day of the Soldado and leave it at that. You know what I mean? Similar to Netflix with Knives Out. No, Rian Johnson wanted to just release Glass Onion. Just call it, not say Knives Out of fucking whatever the Daniel Craig character's name is. Mystery.
I don't know. I watched 20 minutes of the first one. It's not for me, to be honest. Rian Johnson in general isn't for me. Apart from Looper, which I did like.
Glass Onion, I fucking loved. I thought it was brilliant. But
is that the Ed Norton one?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing like the fucking Elon Musk character. Like
I heard that. Yeah.
But where was I?
Second one, missed the mark.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be an anthology.
Yeah, that's what he was going for. But obviously studios and everything. No, this is Sicario 2.
Yeah, the problem was like they kind of give Josh Brolin like a redemption arc in it. Benicio Del Toro just he's finished, and like the idea that he continues on is good, but I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's much more powerful at the end of this. But I always find, when people say, "Oh, it ruins this or it ruins that," when I watch this film, I'm just like, I forget that Sicario 2 exists.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me
because this is a complete. Because I mean, you have to understand, like the way, I saw some of the videos as well about how he's the secret. Main character, but it's very clear that who the main character is. Like, do you know what I mean? And because we see the film essentially through her eyes. Do you know what I mean? Everything, even from the point that POV is in the car going through Juarez, it's all first person essentially. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I did see when I was printing off your notes a tip of the hat to the World Socialist website, who I can't imagine loved this film, and I came across one from another very lefty but more. It's a film website, but it's very kind of lefty and all this. And I have to say now, the first time I saw it, I would have just been like, and ripped it up. But as an older guy now and rewatching it, I was like, okay, I'll take some of their points on board, and I'll try and deal with them and all this.
Communist now, eh?
Perhaps, yeah. Well, funny enough, do you know what completely pulled me away from it was talking to Mexican people. So I'll get to that. But I'll do a quick little spiel now. You mentioned a lot of this in the intro, so I'll just say Sicario is a crime thriller from 2015. It follows FBI agent Kate Mercer, recruited into a covert government task force targeting a Mexican cartel. It has a 7.7 rating on IMDb, a Metacritic critic score of 82, and a user score of 8.1. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 91% and an audience score of 85%. It grossed approximately $85 million worldwide against a budget of $30 million. And on a personal note, folks, that beautiful Mexican girl at the bar really wants to hear your Speedy Gonzalez impression. Go for it, King. So I saw this film, not in the cinema, but soon after it came out, and I was blown away.
Oh, spectacular.
I was... particularly, and it takes a lot to shock me. I have seen a lot of violent films. The dinner table scene, which we'll get to, truly shocked me and really made me reappraise like what I'd seen before, even though I enjoyed the whole film. So my hat's off to the film. Watching it again as an older gentleman, knowing I'm going to have to talk about it, an older guy, maybe should be.
Gentleman's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, yeah. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, and like the film style is so good. I'm kind of like, is it trying to make you forget that it is what you might call a comic book movie, which is to say it's a movie where movie things happen in it. And I think if I saw it again and I was just chilling and watching it, I'd make my peace with it. But when I was like analyzing it, and it kind of had things in my ears ringing of like, American imperialism and all this.
Yeah. Because it's definitely like Taylor Sheridan is definitely no secretly conservative, like, do you know what I mean?
Is he actually though? I know he's anti-Trump because I've heard quotes from him saying that, but that's not to.
So,
but the film is like the
conservatives' wet dream.
The film does say, well, what the fuck else can you do? And the film, like, these people are not.
See, the thing is, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrectly categorizing Taylor Sheridan as conservative, right? But like, I listened to. He's recently been on Joe Rogan, like this week or last week. So I said I listened to it because Sicario 3 is essentially still happening. Like, do you know what I mean? It got held up in 2023 because of the.
Has he not enough money now?
but it got held up in 2023 because of the writer's strike and everything. And there's it kind of falls off a cliff news, but there hasn't been any confirmation to say otherwise. So I listened to the full episode, 3 hours or something, And I've gone off the boil with Joe Rogan big time, like, do you know what I mean? But Jesus Christ, it was just, there was not one mention of fucking anything except a quick mention of Yellowstone, and everything was just hunting and fucking shit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no. Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to a guy about Mark Zuckerberg. Funny, I'll tell a quick story. I have a Mexican student at the moment whose name I won't say, but I was doing a thing of like, who do you think the most beautiful person in the world is? He said Mark Zuckerberg.
Why?
I think he just admires him as a...
my God.
Oh, he's a successful entrepreneur. I was like, what the fuck? But I was talking to another guy who doesn't have that opinion, but he's a tech guy. And I said, oh yeah, did you hear now? He's kind of Joe Rogan'd himself. And he was like, what does that mean? What do you mean when you say that? And I said, oh, he's like, he's growing his hair out and he's like bow hunting. Yeah, see, I mean, he's like bow hunting. He's talking about eating red meat. Yeah. And he thought it meant talking shite for 3 hours and not listening to who you're talking to. But it can mean whatever you want it to mean. But so he's kind of, in one way, he's Joe Rogan himself, Taylor Sheridan. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But you mentioned there about the socialist website that I now this is someone I think has completely missed the mark here. Jóhann Laurier of World Socialist website on the 26th of the 2nd, 2021. Rooting a film in personal revenge is one of the cheapest, laziest and most retrograde approaches possible. Now, I would argue Jóhann Laurier has not seen Park Chan-wook's Revenge trilogy, which consists of Old Boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Lady Vengeance, which are 3 of the most spectacular fucking films ever made, completely rooted in personal revenge. Like, that's someone, and in regards this, like, to say, obviously there's a revenge aspect to it in terms of Del Toro and his character, Alejandro. But the idea that this isn't, the story overall has revenge in it, a revenge plot thread, but Emily Blunt is clearly the whole moral ambiguity of this situation. And what are you willing to do to stop? Are you willing to be evil to stop evil, essentially? Like, do you know what I mean? And where does the line stop between law and order, and like where do you stand on it? That's what this film is getting at. And I think to say, oh, it's completely rooted in revenge is a very close-minded, small-minded approach to it. Like,
well, actually, that's not the tack I would have thought the World Socialist website would take. I thought it'd be, who are these Yankees to go into another sovereign? Which the film, I would actually say, to defend the film I would say the film just shows you what happens. And I do think now there's a touch to the film of, wouldn't it be nice if you could just fucking do this to these bastards? But in the film's defense, there's moments in it where I like the fact it doesn't judge what happens, but it shows you some of the stuff, especially Del Toro does. And there's no reasonable person watching it who'd be like rubbing their hands and be like, oh yeah. There is some stuff that you do that for, but there's other stuff where you're like, Jesus, that's a bit much. But the film is very neutral on it, and it just kind of presents it. You could say that it's a little, like, this is what I mean, it's a comic book film. Like, the film looks realistic. But like,
you better give context to comic book film, because
sorry. So it's basically,
I know what you mean, but
yeah, I don't mean literally like a superhero film, Kieran. It means like where unbelievable things happen. Like, so what would an example? Like, no one is. There'll be someone in the comments now saying that no one is as good a shot as Benicio Del Toro is towards the end of this film. Like, no one. It's just people can be very good at shooting, but you can't do 3 headshots in 2 seconds.
No,
you know?
and it's even demonstrated by the tactical special forces guys in the Juarez sequence. Like, even their shots aren't that accurate. Like, you know what I mean? It takes a couple. Like,
no, but the film is, he becomes something like iconic, and he becomes something larger than life and metaphorical. That's not realistic. But the film is nearly shot like a documentary, which is great. Like, it's great
for like world building. And
yes, it has a great effect, you know, which is where I think some of because the website I read is called Reverse Shot, and they essentially have the same. They didn't mention the revenge thing, but they're like, it's such a beautiful film with such an ugly soul, and it's saying this and it's saying that, and I'm like, yeah. To be honest, it kind of is, but I just take it as more like, isn't the world nasty and ugly, and what if? It's a what if kind of a story.
And that's it, and it's a real, because the film opens up and Kate Marsden works for the FBI. She's the head of a tactical kidnap hostage rescue unit.
Yeah, they make a point of it, which I missed the first few times I watched it. She never investigates. She's just someone who does raids, basically, which is
to save hostages. Like, and it's the first time, for all intents and purposes, she discovers this type of house.
Yeah,
where it's an active cartel run. Chop shop essentially for human beings, like, do you know what I mean?
Now this is where I'll hop in. So I work in an English school. We've several Mexican students, and the other week a student mentioned me like, "Oh, you're from Mexico. Which part of Mexico?" And he goes, "Juarez," and I was like, "Right,
it's written in the stars."
Yeah. So I talked to a few of them in the run up to this, and I won't blow me load here, but I will say he specifically mentioned that the opening, the inciting incident, which isn't actually this. If you watch those YouTube videos, it's when Del Toro's family and all this. But what starts off the film, he specifically said that happens. That's common and that happens. Essentially everything in this that I was like, this is either the most monstrously xenophobic thing I've ever seen or it's true. Everything is true. That I'll get to more details on it later.
To be fair to Taylor Sheridan, like, he does, it's not, I never got the feeling that, for instance, we were discussing off camera Citizen Vigilante.
Yes.
He's not, like, at no time is Taylor Sheridan attempting that type of fucking xenophobic nonsense. Do you know what I mean? This is just, the way I read it, the way I've always read it, even 10 years ago when I first saw it, was this is what it is. And it doesn't really judge it. It's leaving it there. And that's why, that's key for this film, because as I was saying, it's all about the moral ambiguity and how far are you willing to go to? Yeah,
well, it reminds me of a line from a not very good film we talked about on the phone book one, the Tigerland film that Farrell was in for Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
And there's a bit in it where they're doing Vietnam training and the instructor's like, you made a mistake and he got his balls blown off and he's dead. And then Colin Farrell goes, oh no, actually the bullets missed him and the bomb didn't go off. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, well, if you're going to make up a story, why don't you make up a nice one? And the guy goes, I'm not making anything up, son. And the film in this is like, oh, can't we just imagine that we can do social programs and it'll all get better? If you're going to make up a story, it's like, this stuff exists and some people are, for all intents and purposes, beyond redemption and evil, and like, you're just better off killing them. And the film does kind of go, well, let's see what that looks like. And the reason I think you can criticize it is American military and kind of the CIA and all this. And now you can think that they're bad bastards, but they are doing it to stop the cartel, as opposed to what a lot of people would be like, they're just imperialists and they want to go in and make money. They do have, from their point of view, pure motives, which I think you could criticize the film for, but it's very entertaining, so who cares? But I just thought I'd bring that up.
It's so, and the thing is, one thing I'd like to know from the opening scene, it's harsh sunlight, broad daylight. Which, if you watch, I was watching the Blu-ray extras, and there's a whole featurette on the cinematography and Roger Deakins.
Roger Deakins, yeah, one of the few kind of star cinematographers.
Yeah, there's not many.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
really, I think he's the only one that I think a lot of film buffs really know. Like, that you don't have to be a complete film buff to know. Yeah. Robbie Richardson, who is Tarantino's guy at the moment, to be my knock on Deakins, he'd be my personal favorite. Robbie Richardson, but Deakins is
he's a magician, like else, the harsh sunlight while all this darkness is going on screen, like, it's just because they could have easily did this at night time, and you can see like Deakins, because I mean, people can get confused when you hear director of photography and director. Well, who's actually picking the shots and everything? Ultimately, it's the director. Do you know what I mean? Now, depending on what type of director you are, you could be just a pure, I want to focus on performance. You go off and do whatever you want in terms, just shoot.
Yeah,
movie performance. Do you know what I mean? But Denis Villeneuve obviously isn't that. He's very tactile and he's very involved in shot choice and everything like that. And his blocking and all is impeccable at times.
No, he's very good, yeah.
But you can definitely tell that Roger Deakins is such a behemoth that he does give way to what would be the word, direction. For the want of a better way to put it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the choices in this from Deakins, and you see in the featurette that they were his choices. Do you know what I mean? And he was so heavily involved in creating the look of how they would film Sicario, and it's an absolute testament because there's so much of this film where nothing is being said, and you know exactly what's going on. You know, you feel every minute of it. Like, do you know what I mean? There's parts of this that are like, honestly, nail biting. Do you know what I mean? I was able to watch them because I watched it a couple of times this week, and it's one of them films where I wish I could go back to like the first or second time I watched it, because like, for instance, we will keep bringing it back up but it is so good. The Warhead sequence. There's times in that when I watched it originally and I'm like tense.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I like music and
it's phenomenal. Like,
yeah,
and I didn't. That's gone now because I've seen it so many times.
I know. Yeah, I felt the same way.
It's still completely captivating though. Do you know what I mean? But just for different reasons. Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah. Well, I also found it interesting because I noticed this was part of I think it's still ongoing, but like in the 80s, you know, or 90s when I grew up watching films, there was nothing more lovingly shot than the American suburb. And now I haven't seen one in the last 15 years that isn't this blasted hellscape. Just like, what was the Ben Affleck Netflix movie with like Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac and all that? I can't remember the fucking name of it. Was it Triple Frontier? Yeah, that has like a scene in a suburb in it, and it just makes it look like the most miserable fucking
like Vivarium.
Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, like what happened to the American suburb?
But I think the landscape and the juxtaposition between the suburbs, and then because it's such a fucking masterful shot, because obviously as we're beginning the Warhead sequence, you hear the chopper, because there is a great scene where. Previous to that's where one of the quotes of the film for me about this won't make sense to your American ears, and there's some other great stuff he says, like, you won't understand what we're doing or why we're doing it, and
but in the end you will understand.
Like that's great, because she's getting real freaked out because she's like, what's going on here, like, do you know what I mean? Who are you and what's going on, because it's very ambiguous, like, and even the way she's chosen is kind of like,
I think at a certain point, actually, what's funny about the film is because it's nearly done like it's a twist or a reveal, because she goes like, oh, you can't operate here without us. He's like, yeah. Early on in the film, Josh Brolin says, we need you here so we can do this. And it's like he'd basically been telling her the truth. But like you as the audience don't quite cop it, and she doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
I do like how they never have a scene. They do have like one or two bits where she's talking to her boss later on. But you just kind of thrown in it with her, and you've no idea, like, what is this? Like, who are these? But you're kind of totally in her shoes, like.
Because I mean, the conversation that's in this scene just before the Warhead sequence kicks off, where he explains that he was an attorney in Medellin, and I have to be honest with you, when I originally watched this, I went, "That's bollocks." I didn't believe. Now that's actually factually correct, like in the canon of the film, like, do you know what I mean? He was.
Oh, he was just telling her a lie, like, yeah.
No, but he was a lawyer, like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, but you mean you thought the character was lying?
Yes.
And then
yeah, which is something that even on rewatches, I'm like, no, if I was watching this for the first, I'd think it's not clear to me that he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's just because he's so well created as a character, and he's shrouded in darkness and mystery, that I'm like, that has to be a lie, like, do you know what I mean? Because it just doesn't make sense why he's a fucking hitman now, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the great thing about it is, can you imagine how run-of-the-mill the film would have been, where it just tells his story and then he trains up to become, where's the way they do it? And I knew I really liked the film the first time I saw it, where he's asleep on the plane and he goes like, oh! And he wakes up and she's like, are you okay? And the way he goes, yeah. As in, like, why are you even asking me?
Yeah.
Like, you were just screaming. Fucking, like, but the way he said, there's an acknowledgement in the way that he says it, is in, like, there's so many layers to the performance, even though
his delivery, Benicio Del Toro, for me, like, especially after One Battle After Another, like, is one of the finest working actors today, and he has been for the last minimum decade, like, because I mean, even as far back as The Living Daylights or whichever 007 he's in, he's brilliant in that. He's a little, he makes you feel sick. Yeah, he's just sitting there laughing at your man's head exploding in the pressure tank.
No, he's
his line delivery, because I brought up One Battle After Another. Like, is the last moment that Benicio Del Toro is in that film, and the cop asks him, "Have you been drinking?" And his line delivery, "I had a few small beers." And what
that's
a delivery!
Become a meme, like, just this tiny little
a few
thing,
small beers,
like,
and it's just such an amazing choice, like, and just the way, because he's given. Because I think Benicio is great at this, playing this big, strong, brooding, silent type. I think Javier Bardem is brilliant at it as well. Like, do you know what I mean? There's something in the water for the Hispanics, like, do you know what I mean? and because they just bring a mood or something, like, do you know what I mean? And so his line deliveries in this are just fucking spectacular, like, do you know what I mean? It's just really well directed.
He was born to play the character, basically. Yeah, no, he's great. He's one of these guys. He's better than him, actually. Now, although I hate to knock the guy. Rutger Hauer is another actor. When he's directed well, and he's Rutger Hauer now especially, when he's just kind of let do whatever he wants. There's a few Benicio Del Toro performances where you're like, what was he fucking on? But he was trying something. Like, it wouldn't be because he was lazy. Like in The Wolfman, who knows what the fucking juice he was doing at the time. But he's out there and he's trying something. When it works, it's like some of the best shit you've ever fucking seen. Like, as we see
100%, yeah. But like, I mean, The Wolfman, I think was that Guillermo Del Toro?
No, it was, I forget. It was someone like a Joe Dante or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Might actually, no, it wasn't Joe Dante. It was the guy who did Jurassic Park 3, I want to say. But Joe Johnson, was that? Someone looked that up. Look that up, Jamie. But we're okay. So I remember the first time I saw it, I mentioned this. Was it Joe Johnson? Yeah. So they're going in. They're like, we're going to Juarez, and it's as if they're going into the bowels of hell.
Because it's so well. Because the thing that I love about this film, right, is because it shows you the opening sequence here of leading into it. It's about a minute long. And it's just because they do.
Yeah, and the bit where they're on the private jet, and it's long shots of just the jet flying over, but it has that just like.
And because Denis Villeneuve has spoken about how important it was to show that this is the same soil, just separated by a fence. Do you know what I mean? And like this shot to open here where you hear the helicopter in the background, and it's just very faint at the start, music playing. Fantastic, and it's just crescendo and it's getting it's beautiful. Like, and then the way the camera is above the houses and it just floats over like what might be half a kilometer, and then bang, you're in over the border wall and you're in Mexico. Like, and just the shots of the landscape, because it's showing that this is it doesn't. Although you're technically in a different country when you pass that border, this is the same soil. Like, they're connected. Like,
it's crazy yeah. It is a truly amazing like sequence.
Oh my God,
the scale of it and the way it's done.
And just we spoke about the Con Air episode about the perfect helicopter hovering in the background of the John Malkovich shot as he steps off the bus. And this again, like, I wonder, because people think, oh well, they had all the money in the world, so this must be easy.
30 million,
yeah, but this must be easy to do. And I'm like, they probably did this 100 times, this shot where the fucking helicopter finally comes into frame. Because it's just perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you see the other one flying across underneath it as well. It's fucking amazing.
That has to be, yeah. The way they do the convoy and everything, and the music, like, it's now this is one thing that I couldn't quite, because it's a weird esoteric question. The way they portray the cartels in this is like the music in it is called The Beast, and the music is the cartels. So it's like this mystical kind of a force. And I wonder if you're living there and in I couldn't quite get because it's a difficult question to ask. I wonder if it's more mundane and just like stupid, and you're like, they're just like what we would call knackers or whatever. Whereas the film is nearly a horror movie. It's and it's like everywhere. They're everywhere, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Like, and I have to point out here as well, I think you're dead right, actually, now that I think of it in that context. Because it's like a spectre looming around every corner. Like, and Mexico is such a beautiful location for this, because it is just set up with small alleyways, dirt roads, and like, it's just so fucking, because it is that they're there everywhere. But I would imagine it is like living in a block of flats in Tala where there's drug dealers. I would imagine it's like that. I would imagine in a lot of cases, if you don't fuck with them, they won't fuck with you.
Well, it's funny. So I'll just give my thing. So I talked to the lad from Juarez. I talked to a girl from Sinaloa, in the Sinaloa cartel, yeah, and a girl from Tijuana, and they would.
Where white guys go to see donkey shows.
Well, you see, the girl from Tijuana, I would have assumed that was one of the safer places. And she said, I'm from Tijuana. I was like, oh, Tijuana. And she goes, yeah, I know, one of the most dangerous cities in the world. And I was like, huh?
Oh, they'll kidnap you there if you're out just over the border.
That's what I... so I was talking to her and I said, well, have you seen the movie Sicario? And she goes, no. And I said, this is a Tijuana girl. And she goes, no. But I said, well, what do you think about this and that? And she goes, well, she says a long time ago it was bad. And I was like, do you mean like 10 years ago? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm very old. But around the time of the film is legit. Like that's what it was like. And she goes, but my mother went there like 2 years ago and she said it was fine. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah. She says, now she did get stopped by people with guns. I was like, what do you mean? Like the police? She goes, no. I was like, wait, she was just driving around and a guy with a gun who's not the police stopped her and asked her what she was doing. Yeah. I was like, doesn't that seem a little odd? Like to me, that seems a little odd. But it's like, I don't know would a Mexican filmmaker make this film in the same way, but I think it's legit to, like, if you're driving around some fuckers there with a machine gun telling you to stop and he's not the police.
But you ever see them, but it's funny, I mean, this is a bit of an aside, but do you ever see them travel vloggers who go to Afghanistan and they'll be like Taliban walking around, like, and they'll get in pictures with them and all, like, do you know what I mean? Like we have this, it's like the scene in Pulp Fiction when they're driving talking about hamburgers to go and massacre a few people. These are scary, no value for life bastards. Like they'll cut you up, but at the end of the day, they're still just blokes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And in a lot of cases, even the fucking Taliban, like there's plenty of clips and videos.
It depends on the context, I guess. Like this,
but that's what I'm saying. I'd more lean in now. Obviously, if you're a gringo, I'd imagine you're going to be in hot water no matter what, like because they see it probably as money.
Well, the girl from Tijuana said that they kind of have an agreement in the tourist areas because it's bad, but the Sinaloa girl said, like it's like the mafia. Back in the golden era, the mafia, like you want to sell oranges on the street, you have to pay them off and all this. So it is like the organization, like it's systemic, which is kind of a wanky word, but it is in a way. But yeah, you would wonder, but then there's so many the young girls, the young women who go missing and all this. Like, and your man, I said to him, look, when I saw the film for the first time, and he said, "Welcome to Juarez," and you see the fucking dead bodies hanging, and I said, guys, I asked all three of them, tell me, is yay or nay? And they were like, oh yeah, that happens.
And do you know what I love here? Because just make sure I don't forget his name. Jeffrey Donovan, who plays like the tactical guy.
Oh yeah,
is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, he's a big TV guy. He's on Burn Notice.
But it's not only that, but you forget. Because I kind of put, because it's before we were researching for this week. It'd be a few years since I've seen that. So I remember Soldado and Sicario. I
remember when he showed up in part 2. I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
He's good in it. Don't get me wrong.
The way I remember it is, he's in the whole film. He's only in the Juarez sequence, like in the first one, and he is fan-fucking-tastic in it because obviously, like the Juarez sequence is an absolute masterclass in tension building, but he brings expository language to really like because although the music is doing it. What we're seeing with the dead bodies and stuff hanging from the bridge, which is fucking very gruesome, but I love the fact that it stays POV the whole time and it doesn't give us a shot exterior to the car or anything because that would take you out of it too much, and that's just masterful direction.
No, it's them in the car, and the way they do the rack focus to the missing girl posters in the background and all that.
Because that was a big influence on Taylor Sheridan to actually write Sicario. That's
really?
because he came across an article about missing people.
Well, I think it's there's bits to the sequence it's worth talking about, but there is kind of now a subgenre of the kind of Mexico cartels as a hellscape kind of a thing. I put this, No Country for Old Men. Probably the most extreme example is The Counselor. Did you ever see that? The Ridley Scott, it's like an all-star, Michael Fassbender, Brad Pitt and all this.
No, I haven't seen it.
It is just like the ultimate, the cartels is this monstrous, invisible evil kind of a thing. True Detective touched on it a bit. If you remember, there's the monologue in it. Do you remember the monologue by Matthew McConaughey where he's like, I worked this cartel down the border. They tape you to a chair, cut your face off in front of a mirror and then stick your balls in your mouth and all this. It is like a subgenre unto itself of like the evil of the cartels. Yeah. There was a Punisher comic where he went to Mexico to fight the cartels and all this.
What is it? Is it this? What's the film? I saw this today and it's like, do you think you're any better? Where do you think we learned it from?
That's in this. Yeah,
that's in this.
Yeah. I actually want to ask you about that, but that's at the end.
Yeah. But so back to Jeffrey Donovan, right? As we're entering Juarez, because it kind of at first when you're watching it, I can see where it kind of takes you because the music goes very silent. Then, do you know what I mean? It's still there, but it's very, very faint. But he's talking about how President Taft which went to meet President Diaz, and he brought 4,000 troops, and it still nearly went tits up because someone tried to shoot him in the head. And then he goes, do you reckon he felt safe? And then it starts again, like, do you know what I mean? And then but he has a fantastic bit of dialogue, which is for a character that's so small. It tells you everything you need to know about him. Do you know what I mean? When he joins, he goes, it's amazing what they do, isn't it? And he goes, they'll do that so they show the people that these people must be really bad because we've mutilated them so much. You could have looked at a bleeding cartel leader wrong, and that ends up happening. But that's the spectre, that's the fear of it all. Like, it's more about what they might do to you rather than what they'll actually do to you.
Well, it's the gruesomeness of it.
And but see, it's but then he bookends that piece of dialogue by, it's amazing what they do. He fucking respects it. Yeah. And it is fucking so, because it's the type of thing that if you're not really paying attention, you could miss that type of thing. But it says so much about character and so much about what we're about to see transpire in terms of how the Americans act. Do you know what I mean? They see he definitely sees himself as the good guy, but he's using the same tactics as a bad guy.
Well, he's seen it all before, and he's just like, oh well, sure. And what are you going to do?
He's fucking amazing.
He is very good. I want to say I was watching a clip from Joe Rogan once. I can't remember why, and this is why if I seem a bit tired of the military mindset, he had some military guy, and he's like, oh, I was watching some movie, and it was Sicario, and it's the bit on the bridge where there's the firefight, and the guy's like, oh, I was watching his safety was in the wrong position. I said to my wife, turn that shit off. And I was like, wow, it must be nice to be such a fucking arsehole. Yeah. Like, I'm an English teacher. If I saw someone in a movie, it'd have to be pretty fucking egregious and not a switch in the wrong position that I'd be like, I'm not watching this. You fuck off with that bullshit.
Like, if they did like the splits and fucking twirl the gun around, like, you know what I mean? Which almost happens in Soldado.
Yeah, to be fair,
when Del Toro was shooting one of the cartel lawyers out on the street, you remember? And he gets the king and he like, and I was like, that is like fucking ridiculous.
It was a little unnecessary.
Yeah. But that just goes to show you, we're going for a completely different film tonally. Like, but this sequence, right? The layers that happens from here when they actually get the guy in the car, right? And it's like, and the fact that Benicio Del Toro says to Kate Mercer, he goes, oh, don't worry, nothing's going to happen here. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen at the border. And it's just, he's so assured. And it's like, but you know what it does to you? Because when you're watching it, it's like very intense. And he says that and you go, right, I can breathe for a minute. So nothing's going to happen right now. But then as soon as the cars take off, the music starts again. It's like, oh no.
Well, that's what funny is. I think there's kind of a meta, if you'll forgive me, kind of tension. Because you're like, is this a movie where his character is going to be wrong, or is this a movie where his character is going to be right? Like, you're still kind of figuring it all out.
Yeah.
And then the way they do from their point of view, the car that's following them, like, it's
amazing. And do you know what I love? Again, Jeffrey Donovan with a great line of dialogue, because he literally just turns around and goes, "Oh, I'm getting a boner."
Yeah.
Like, what a line! Like, because it just tells you, like, oh, this guy's loving this. He wants something to happen. Like, do you know what I mean? They all do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's that bloodlust. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Then we get to, the actual bit of it.
And what a fucking... Because as soon as Benicio Del Toro notices the gun, and then gun left. Yeah. And then Yo goes, what's the rules here?
Oh, yeah. And they actually do have some rules there.
Don't get out unless they get out.
Yeah.
And then they get out. But the shots here... Because this film is quite long shots. Do you know what I mean? But here it gets a lot quicker, and it's like,
true, yeah.
It's so. And the Mexican guys, like, you can just tell, like, they know they're fucked, like, and it just goes to show the mentality.
They're not going to go back to the cartel.
Yeah, exactly. You may as well kill me, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's well. The way I found it fascinating, the way, well, obviously I kind of pay attention in the job to the differences in language, but Benicio Del Toro runs up and goes, "Con paz," and the subtitles are "in peace," and I was like, what a weird way to, like,
because it's like he doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, to an English speaker, that's just, you get it, but you're like, oh, that's a really weirdly idiosyncratic kind of. When they pick up the phone in Mexico, they say bueno, as in good. And I said that I was talking to this girl, she said bueno on the phone, and my mate goes, he's from Mexico, sorry, and he goes like, oh yeah, we do that. I was like, Well, do you not think that's? He's like, it is a bit weird, actually. Yeah. But there's so much weird shit that we do.
So do you think that's what they'd actually say in that situation?
I think con is definitely like something like in. I think it's kind of a few different things. A pass, I guess, is peace.
Yeah, because it's just, but it's not the direct translation I'm talking about. I'm saying
excuse me,
the way it reads. It almost, you go like, that sounds like one of the American guys with his broken Spanish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I loved how the guy's like, oh, puro tus manos. He's like, you can tell like the guys are probably like, what the fuck is that yank?
Yeah.
No, I wonder actually, because Del Toro was not actually a native Spanish speaker, I want to say. I remember reading he had to learn Spanish for traffic, I want to say it was. Or he had to improve it or something. I just kind of took it as like kind of a shorthand, like slangy kind of a way of saying, look, obviously they're not coming in peace, but it's obviously like, hey, we won't do anything if you don't do anything. And he does try and save the guy, which is important. It isn't just for show. Like he could have just been like, hey, fucking...
Just shot him straight away.
He could have just shot him straight away or whatever. And this is what I mean, like, in real life, one of those guys had their hand on a gun and they would have just started blazing away. They would not have waited. No, I'm not criticizing the film. I'm just saying it's not a documentary.
But the funny thing here is, obviously, I think it's 13 minutes, this whole sequence, from the helicopter over the suburbs to the point where they're going to start shooting on the bridge. And it's over in less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You would think that you'd feel robbed after all that tension, but you don't whatsoever. And there's a great line as well where he goes, watch out for the state police. They're not always the good guys. And it turns out that I love the way it cuts into Kate in the car when they start shooting and go, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
She really can't understand. Like, that's it. What you just did is fucking illegal. Like, you know what I mean? And then as soon as it's over, they're all laughing and joking, going, this will be all over the news. This won't even make the papers in El Paso.
I did actually want to talk about that because the way that scene ultimately fit, like obviously they wiped them all out or whatever. And then the camera kind of pans from the dead body to, it looks like an older woman and then a young fella in the back of a car. And I was like, if they made that today, wouldn't that kid have his phone out and be recording this? Because even at the time, but whatever way the film is done, you don't expect that to happen. Whereas in real life, of course, everyone around, even in 2015, or the film is not explicitly set before that because they have smartphones in it.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
But like, I think nowadays that thing of it won't even make the papers. I was like, nah, in a movie made in 2026, people are just like, here now, come on. Like,
dead right.
Or maybe the way the film is done, you wouldn't really consider it. But I just
but that's the thing. I think it never crossed my mind, like, because
I think just the way it's done.
I was coming down off the last 13 minutes of high octane fucking
I think
suspense.
Really, or you just kind of assume, and it could be maybe our Western imperialist mindset. It might be like, we're like, I don't know if they even have them phone things in Mexico. I don't know. I'm kind of being funny, but I also don't know what it is. Like, Mexicans sound off, and the guy from Juarez didn't mention my dad. I'll just kind of close the loop on that because I'll talk about it more at the end. So the guy from Juarez said, you see bodies hanging from things. And when he was in middle school, which I'm not a Yank or a Mexican, but I guess that's like 12, 13, 14, he saw a decapitated head in a car left near his school. The film is not making those details up. It is, the first thing I did after I saw it, I went into work the next day and I asked a Mexican person, like, hold the fuck, because I'm like, it's either the most racist film ever made, or this is just how it is, and that's how it is. But I'll come back to some of their thoughts on American imperialism later. I am not a huge fan of the way they filmed the confrontation between Blunt and Brolin.
Right, far away.
Yeah, I don't know that cutting in would have added much, but I am like, that seems a little or it just doesn't work as well as I think Villeneuve wanted it to. I'm not even sure what he was going for, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It kind
I do
of
like what's being said,
me.
like, I do like the dialogue, the back and forth, like, but I mean, I think it's potentially just let's continue this run of long shots instead of doing a two-peak shot.
It's an interesting way to do it. I think some people, I remember seeing comments that they really liked it. It just
the only thing I can think of now that we're discussing it is it's the three of them. He wants the three of them, and him Benicio Del Toro walking off and in, and almost like Brolin out, like as if he's has to deal with a troubled teenager causing issues. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, in that context, I think it works. The fact that Benicio Del Toro doesn't care what you have to say, like he just walks away. And I think that the further away the shot is better than having it closer and seeing the three of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I'd look at it.
Yeah, again, it just for whatever reason didn't sit well with me, but it gets right back on track with there's a lot of people seem very bothered by how Del Toro intimidates the guy that they've taken. It's like, why is he standing so close to him? I just took it as like, well, wouldn't that kind of scare you? Like, what's this guy going to do to you?
And it is a very funny, Josh Brolin goes, what are you looking at me for? No hablo, remember?
Yeah. I imagine being that guy and you're like, you're so fucked. No, well, it's actually on the frequently asked questions on IMDb. One of the questions is, why does he stand like that? And say, oh, well, he's intimidating him. And some people think perhaps he made him perform oral sex on him, but this leaves him open to the possibility of the guy biting his dick. It's like, why would you waste your fucking life writing?
Yeah, like, come on, it's clear that he's not doing that. But I do love the fact that, because they could have went down the route of showing us this intense torture scene, and they don't. They cut away to a drain, and you hear it. And that's enough, like, do you know what I mean?
And it's
because we've just seen something really violent as well. And almost that, and something that seems real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can see dead bodies in a slasher film and you want them to pile up. But in this type of thing, that's a real shocking image. Do you know what I mean? Like just the decapitated bodies and they're hanging by a thread. Like, do you know, it's a
I
real...
wonder how they did them because they look so realistic.
It's scary, isn't it?
It's amazing.
They could have green screened the fellow with green
could have been,
hats
yeah.
on. Like, do you know what I mean?
It just, like, they just look so legit. Like,
Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah. They could have just spent like thousands there. If you make you can make a realistic body, but they're thousands, like 60, 70,000 or something like that. Yeah. For one, you know, Jesus.
That's why I think it's a great choice that they didn't show the torture, because that's kind of not the film. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
If this was the second one, they would have showed the torture scene.
Yes, they would have done, yeah. Who directed the second one, actually?
So I want to say Samuel Salima or something.
Okay,
He's an Italian guy.
that sounds right. Yeah, I can't remember. It's probably actually pretty good, but he's following
a lot of Italian films.
Okay.
A lot of Italian stuff.
Oh, did he maybe do like Gomorrah thing or something?
Possibly.
Like that? Yeah. I'm pulling that out of my hoop now, but I know that's the kind of guy they might have gotten for it. So then, this is what I mean. Like, so the film has a great like you trust the film on its own terms. So I think another film would have shown us like why he brought in the big water jug. And they would have maybe explained why he was kind of pushing his dick up against the guy's face.
Yeah. But surely he's waterboarding him.
Well, that's the
That's
thing
what you
is,
think.
But they showed a shot of the drain, and I was like, "Oh yeah, did they show water pouring in?" They never do.
No.
But in the film, you assume it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
The film kind of has
the second
that
one,
level
when
of
Josh
trust.
Brolin is interrogating the Somalian guy at the start, there's the shot opens at the far end of it looks like a container or something.
Okay.
And the same water bottle is there.
Oh really?
So I mean, I thought that was
They took notes and
yeah. No, I thought that was an interesting like.
Well, the next kind of. This is what I mean, though. They don't always explain what Del Toro's doing, but you always get the feeling he's up to something. Because then when
it's like he's playing chess, the rest of them are playing checkers almost. Like, you know, that's what it feels like.
It never just seems like he's doing it for the. So when they're at the kind of bus depot with all the immigrants that they caught, and he's asking them all like, "Where are you from? Let me see your hands. Do you have any tattoos?" And you're like, "Why is he asking them questions?" But there's my take on it is, and I could be wrong, is if you have a certain kind of hands and you do have tattoos, then he thinks you're probably not to be trusted. And if you've been there before and all this, but they never explain it. Like, it's just you just see him kind of going about.
But that's
it.
brilliant. Like,
yeah, that's
because
because
did you ever hear the quote of Quentin Tarantino where he doesn't tell you what's in the briefcase because 10 different people will have 10 different answers, and that's 10 different movies.
Yeah, it's a great. The trick is in pulling it off, so it doesn't just seem like, or the audience is satisfied, and that's really difficult. Like the Pulp Fiction was a great example because it's so successful that people do have different ideas. Whereas if you do it shitty, people are like, what the fuck is that? Tell me what's in the bleeding thing, you wanker, or whatever. But when you do it right, like in this or Pulp Fiction, like, oh, nice. Or you just feel you understand it without it being spelled out.
Yeah.
Then one of the more annoying characters in the film, Daniel Kaluuya's
Did you find him annoying?
character. He's not actually, but I do. When you watch it again, the first time you watch it, you're so you are Emily Blunt and him, and you're like, what are these? When you know what they're up to, you're like, oh, come on, just let the boys off and away, like. And he's just asking all these questions, and you're like, and like he goes like, "Oh, if you don't tell me this, I walk," and I'm like, they explicitly don't want you there.
Yeah, no, but see, here's another confusing bit. He's requested. Emily Blunt has said that I want him there.
She did, yeah.
Now but see, the thing is, I can't remember because it is mentioned that you're only here because she wants you here. Like, do you know what I mean? But I don't remember, even after watching it a couple of times, I don't remember when that actually happened. So I think that may happen off camera. Like, it's just something that's retrograde.
Could
like,
be,
you know
right.
I mean?
Yeah, he was just kind of there waiting for them when they came back.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't talk about him much, but Josh Brolin is brilliant in this. And I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes where he was like, he was like, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
well, he said, I didn't get this guy at all. And I find that he's so perfectly captures this kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And he said, when I read the pages and he's always cracking jokes, and I didn't get it at all. And I was like, he just seemed like someone who perfectly understood what the character was. Because and I found that really weird.
And it's like he's dressed immaculately, like with his sandals and his fucking... Because it's this kind of Marley Grey, almost Big Lebowski-esque type dude, right? Who's ordering all these horrific things, illegal action, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And... I think that just it perfectly encapsulates that what you're going for.
Well, he strikes me as the kind of guy who's like...
But can you imagine though, on the way he's dressed and all, if this fella was dressed like sharply or anything, you'd go, this fella's just a fucking monster.
Yeah,
but because he's big,
it'd be more of a cliche as well.
Yeah.
Well, he strikes me as the kind of guy who's like, I don't take myself seriously, but I take my work seriously.
Yeah.
But even in this scene where they're like, hey, can we talk to you? And he walks up and is like, whoa, so serious. Like, he's just like... But at the same time, he's needling them as well, like, because he doesn't like them.
Because you have to understand, he's also a fixer. Do you know what I mean? So he's trying to manage the situation. So that's why he's... do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just... He so perfectly gets the guy. The fact he didn't get it initially, I find.
I think if it wasn't for Hollow Man, he wouldn't be in this film.
Yeah, Jesus. Thank God for Hollow Man. And there's a great line at the end of this, which now again, the film is pretty well. I think there's a quote on somewhere that I've seen on IMDb where who knows if it was real. Taylor Sheridan has said he doesn't necessarily disagree with what they do, because the end of the scene is your man goes, just don't keep us in the dark. And Benicio Del Toro's like, so you're afraid of the dark? Yeah. The film thinks he's right. Like, there's no real question about it, but they do, to the film's credit, as I say, there's a lot of greyness coming along later. So that's a very good scene, actually, the bus depot scene, but we'll move along. Now, we get to the next thing that comes to my mind is good.
Just one thing on that, right? Did you get the feeling, I felt this almost watches like a stage play.
The bus depot scene?
No, every scene, the whole film. The reason that is because rather than individual scenes, it's like sequences. It's like a first act, second act, third act, fourth act, fifth act. Like,
yeah, it's very linear and they never really struggle.
No,
like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But not only that, it's like everything. Like, so there's 10, 15 minutes spent, or 10 minutes maybe in the bus depot. There's 13 minutes spent in Juarez. Like, they're very specific
the
to
length
the surroundings.
this,
Not even the length, but they feel like you're watching almost a vignette. Like a short film. If you put these in isolation, you could almost
the film
get away with them.
has a good rhythm, like a staccato, almost kind of a rhythm. Yeah, or that's probably the wrong word, but I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, I see what you mean. I think that's what gives it that kind of nice pace to it. It isn't like
because even if I was watching on the Blu-ray and I was skipping to scenes and all, but it brings you to the start of each sequence. So there's about 8 scenes in it. The way it's broken down, like, do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And it works that way, even though, like you might change a location, as in a room or whatever, but it's all these parts take place in one place.
I do remember being surprised at how soon the final kind of the bit where they go into Mexico at the end. It's like an hour and 20 minutes in. It's a 2-hour film. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I do just mean, like, I assume that was like 50 minutes at the end. But the way they do it is so...
Because they find, obviously, the whole kicker here is they find out that they find the specific tunnel they're looking for. Yeah. From interrogating the guy in the previous scene.
And now this is the bit where I think in any other film it wouldn't raise an eyebrow.
Oh, actually, do you know what? We haven't even mentioned the cop throughout the whole thing.
To say,
because that's very important, like, because you're kind of like, who is this guy? Because he keeps popping up every couple of scenes.
Yeah, he's just a Mexican cop who's corrupt. I don't know how.
You don't know he's corrupt.
You don't know he's corrupt till kind of later on. Yeah, he's obviously got a problem with the He likes the old drink, as the Irish should say.
But you know, I was speaking. Funnily enough, it's usually you that has all the tidbits about the Latins, but I actually work with a Brazilian guy now, right? And he was explaining to me that he's been to Portugal quite a bit, and their alcoholism in Portugal is apparently through the roof because they all do that in the morning.
Really?
They put whatever their fucking hooch is.
A drop of the creator.
Yeah. Mother's milk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But apparently that's rife in Portugal. Like fellas going into office jobs and driving cars and they're drinking fucking whiskey or whatever the fuck their hooch is first thing in the morning.
Well, an office all right, but getting behind the wheel. Bloody hell, there you go. Yeah. They actually, Taylor Sheridan mentions him on the thingy. What I find interesting about Taylor Sheridan is he's a brilliant auteurist, right? And he is very good. I genuinely mean he's brilliant. And
his world building capability is second to none.
Like, I got the feeling that he doesn't actually have answers because he goes, so we see him and, maybe he's self-medicated. And he didn't say it in a way of like, I know, but you don't know. I think he genuinely doesn't really know the answer, and I'm not knocking him. But I do find it interesting that to him it's ambiguous. And it's like, well, you wrote it, you should know. Like, but I think maybe he does and he just wasn't letting on because... But
he is, his personality type is very laid back, cool, calm and collective.
He was an actor. Did you ever see him in Sons of Anarchy? He had a pretty big role.
No, I thought he wrote that.
He got fired off the Sons of Anarchy. No, he was a recurring character in it. He was like the local police guy. And the story goes, he was like, here, this is successful. I want more money. No, you're fired. And then he just, all right, well, fuck it, I'll write the great American screenplay. And then, unlike 99% of people, actually did it. And fair play to him. Like, he's a very talented guy. Whether he's not a Trump guy, so he can be a little conservative as far as I'm concerned.
But see, like I said, I don't know. I might be being unfair to him, so I'm sorry, Taylor.
Yeah. I know when Wind River was released, I saw an interview with him where he was absolutely horrified about Trump and all this. So he's not that stripe of conservative.
I looked it up and he said he identifies as apolitical.
Okay, yeah.
He's libertarian or conservative.
Yeah.
He's probably...
You don't get a job in Hollywood.
He's probably socially very liberal.
Yeah. They are like all the right-wing grifters.
He seems like that kind of a guy, yeah.
Oh, I'm centre left. Oh, yeah, but...
I'm a normal person from 20 years ago. Sound off in the comments. The next bit, this is what I mean now. It's a little comic booky. So they stop the payments in the bank and they have all those little wristbands and then later on someone shows up in Emily Blunt's life. I don't know why I'm being coy. She picks up the psycho guy from Walking Dead.
Daniel Kaluuya's character actually knows him personally.
Yeah, I mean, I am really not knocking it, but the film completely loses like it doesn't lose it like because it's done very well, but this is a movie thing.
Yeah.
He has the same wristband on some money that she saw earlier, so she knows he's part of it. It can happen in real life. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but the whole point is
it's a movie. It's a movie thing.
Yeah, definitely. But like John Bernathal's character, the seeking her out.
Yeah, like you can actually. I noticed this time you can see him in the background.
Yeah. Because Josh Brolin specifically tells her not to go into the bank.
Yeah,
don't go into and she goes into the fucking bank like that pesky broad. I saw actually. I was debating someone. Well, debating is a strong word, but I won't bring up the story because there's no point. But obviously, there's been some good news on the front of the Parnell Square attacks.
Yes,
and I saw all the Patriots turn on the mother because she said on Sky News that she forgives him. Like, I have nothing, I don't harbour anger towards him. And this fella commented saying, I'm fucking sick and tired of stupid women. How retarded do you have to be? And I just responded to him, right? I just said, you haven't got a lot of females in your life, have you? Or maybe a chick did you bad back in the day.
Presumably,
like, fuck me. Like, I don't know why that's coming up, but it's because Emily Blunt disobeyed a man's order. That's why it came up.
Well, actually, maybe now is a good time then to talk. I found myself thinking about, was it cowardice on the part of the filmmakers, or were they subconsciously saying something in an all-male film? Why is Emily Blunt's character female? And then I found myself thinking, what male actor would want to play that role if it were just gender swapped, like completely? And I don't mean you bring John Bernthal home like as some woman, but like at the end of the film, it is a little more comfortable for the audience that it's a woman who decides, oh, maybe I was wrong, I'll give in to this.
No, but Taylor Sheridan specifically says the reason why he originally, as he was writing it, it was a male character, but he said, no, I can't do this. It has to be a woman because a man wouldn't have the emotional depth to be able to really question what's going on around him, to not fall in line with the boys.
Well, I think if it were a male character, it would come off. I think it comes off less as weakness because it's a female character.
Yeah, that's what Taylor Sheridan's getting at, because it didn't.
Well, he kind of thinks like a man wouldn't make that decision. I think they would, but I think of an audience wise, oh, you pussy, or you're cooked or whatever. Whereas with her, you kind of get an intelligence behind it of like, I've done the mathematics on this, and all right, I guess. But a fella, I don't know, would you have had the same?
I don't think so.
And I take his point as well. Like a guy would be more likely, like, hey guys,
yeah. I'm part of the gang.
Do you know what came to mind? I don't know why, but you know, in Back to the Future, there's a great bit. You know, like George McFly, his dad's being bullied all his life, and he flashes back to the 50s. There's a bit in the diner when he meets Marty McFly, and they're bullying Marty for a second, and for like a split second, you can see George like he's laughing along with the bullies because he's such a fucking loser. He's like, "Hey guys, we're all in this together," and I'm like, I'm kind of picturing this film now with Crispin Glover instead of Emily Blunt, laughing along with the boys as they're massacring everyone. But it's perfectly well done. John Bernthal is a great actor. It's always nice.
He's fantastic.
He's apparently a very nice guy. A friend of mine worked with him recently. Said he got on well with him. So
he's a very strong actor. Like he's very strong. Like
he is. Yeah, and you can totally see like the cartel boys being like, she'll go home with you. I just kind of find it very plausible. I'm like,
and the fact that it's just a little John Bernthal aside, like how he fell into acting is really interesting. Like, because he went to college and he was, I don't know if it was American football or baseball, but and all these guys took this like theatre class because it's an easy A, but he misinterpreted and took the wrong class, and it was this it was this intensive acting course,
right?
Do you know what I mean? And not an easy A, but he basically was sitting there. And he was asked to bring something. Everybody was asked to bring something to class to make up to ad lib, like, do you know what I mean? And
Jesus.
And he forgot to bring something, so he ran out, got his baseball mitt, and started this spiel about how his mother gave it to him and she's dead. And then he looked up and everybody was crying, and he realised, holy shit, I'm crying. And he was told, and he was told by the teacher, come back, take this, come back tonight, you're auditioning for the play. And you got the main part in the play and never look back.
Yeah, just natural born. Yeah, he is great. Yeah, I like him a lot.
He's very good in this.
Yeah.
Even though he's only in it for a short while, but...
He's very memorable, yeah.
Like, because, I mean, what happens, like... Because it is, like... This is a very questionable type of thing, because it almost borderlines into he doesn't stop immediately, like, do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, we all know you should stop immediately. And it's kind of this weird kind of standoff then, because he's really struggling. I don't want to fucking hit you. Do you know what I mean? Because it seems like the character is a good guy who's just caught up in this issue.
Actually, when I was watching it, it's plausible that he isn't in on it up to a point, which is kind of the genius of the scene, until he actually, he's got the upper hand and he's like, I'm just going to keep going. And okay. And he's like, why are you making me do this? Don't make me be a bad guy.
That's very much what a fucking abusive male partner would say. What are you making me do this for?
Don't make me try.
And you're serving beans on toast, and when he asks for fucking spaghetti hoops or something.
Yeah, and then...
I don't know why he's a toddler all of a sudden, but...
The website I was referring to, they had a problem with how she is saved. She's a damsel in distress saved by Benicio Del Toro.
Not really how it plays.
It is.
You can contextualize it as that, but I don't think that's doing anybody any justice. Like, because you have the hitman, mysterious guy Alejandro, and he's essentially staking her out because he doesn't know what this bitch is about.
And he isn't in much of a hurry either. No. If you notice, he's not in any rush at all. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, and I remember watching this and going, in the fullness of the film, thinking back on the scene and going, he's standing there going, "Will I just let him?" That's why he's thinking Alejandro in the shadows. Like, do you know what I mean?
Probably,
and that's where I see it. I don't see it as, I'm a poor woman and I need saving. Like, I don't see it like that at all.
No, I think things are just going to happen in movies, and you just like it ties in very well to the theme of the film, which is she's naive, she made a mistake, she thought the world was fucking chocolate and rainbows. Now you can make the point of she should have listened to the men, but I think I don't know. I think it's kind of a narrow way to look at things, but look, it's justifiable as well, I suppose. So he's kind of they figured out that they've kicked up enough noise that it's actually a little bit nebulous, but like it's pretty. The events themselves are pretty clear. Like so, they've kicked up enough fuss that a guy is called back from the US to see the Jefe in Mexico. And the plan is very simple. They'll follow him so they know where the other guy is, except it's not them. It's just Benicio Del Toro.
But this sequence here, I have to mention the shot where they're walking in the night and you see the pink sky mixed with the darkness and holy
they all
shit.
disappear and
Oh, that is just... And see some of these shots, these kind of, not throwaway shots because they're very well fucking choreographed if you want to put it that way. A lot, like, for instance, the cop character drives off into the distance into a storm. I assumed that was CGI. That was the end of a day's shoot. They were made aware that the storm was coming in. And even as the fork lightning is hitting the ground, that's not a special effects. That's just what happened. And Roger Deakins basically went, do you know what? This could be really interesting. We're going to shoot this. This is after the 12-hour shoot day. And so they just, this is just one more they added on, like, and it's made the film. And it's fucking spectacular because it's the guy, because you kind of get the feeling then, because it stays with the cop a bit more here where he lives. Normally he just leaves house and then that's it, he disappears from the film again. But he's actually driving into the fucking storm, which is a great kind of allegory for what's about to go down, like, do you know what I mean? It's and to think that it was just something, end of the day, like, let's get one for safety.
Brilliant,
you know what I mean? Amazing.
No, very, and the way I found it very interesting is kind of unusual. They shoot this with, it's not the character's point of view sometimes, it is just night vision. And I think that authenticity of they're actually
and
in the
not
dark
interesting
and all this.
because some of them have the kind of green night vision, right?
Yeah.
And then Benicio Del Toro's character, every time you see him, it's infrared. It's not the same, like, so do you know what I mean? So it makes you see that there is a difference in what's going on in the people.
Yeah. Well, this is again where, and I am not knocking the film, I'm just categorizing it. They go into this tunnel and it is like, again, like descending into the...
And these exist. These have air conditioning. These have fucking ladders, safety, fucking... like these are...
They've unlimited money nearly, them cartels. The unrealistic thing is, I don't know that anyone is as good with a knife as Del Toro is. Now, granted, they've night vision and the other guys supposedly don't or whatever, but I am still like, come on, lads. It's like, it's... The style of it is brilliant and helps push it along, but it's people talk about it as if it is like a documentary, and I'm like, it's not. It's a really well done thriller. It's a movie, like, you know, and it's, look, his character at this stage, you believe Anthony nearly could do, although they pushed that in part 2 and have some issues there. But this is where
the superhero for him, like,
they do a bit, This, I don't know. I will.
We'll touch on the second one afterwards.
But then it's where the film really takes its turn, and you see how merciless he really is. So
because obviously he arrives where he needs to be. Well, I know, actually, not before. There's
there's a bit. He puts 2 bullets. Now, granted, again, no one is this good with a gun, but you believe it. He puts 2 bullets into Emily Blunt's vest. Now, I did have a question though. I thought they should have rethought the line where he said, "Don't ever point a weapon at me again." And I thought that nearly made it, that was nearly like too macho or something. And I was like, I thought he might have said something different. Like he might, like he...
I thought it was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, don't, like, I will, because
I thought something like, "Don't ever try and stop me again," which I know is not a great line and it's a cliche, but like the like I was like, the weapon thing.
But see, the thing is, you hear that line, but you know what he's actually saying is, "I will kill you." And I won't think about it. That's the vibe I got. I will kill you and I won't have a second thought about it.
I don't know whether I'm thinking too literally about it, but I was like, I don't know. It's something about it felt slightly off to me. And then that's the last bad note the film hits for like 40 minutes. And even that, it's not terrible, but I was like, I thought he might have said something else.
No, it's fine for me. Like, I mean, because as I said, it's what he's not saying. When he's saying that makes it for me.
Well, he does it so quickly. Like, there's no standoff. Like, as soon as I don't think he even waits for an opportunity. He just puts 2 bullets in her. Like,
cold, calculated. Do you know what I mean? Precision.
Yeah, that's where. Sorry, I thought I thought the cleaner was.
Fabi.
We could ask her about Mexico again. This is where, you know, the film really, where you do go. It's not like the plot wise, you're like, what's going on? But it reminds me of like the bit in. I remember watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the killers who killed people in real life are walking up like the whatever the name of the drive is, and I'm like, wait a minute,
Cielo Drive.
Yes, Cielo, yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is this asshole gonna do next? Because I really don't. Is he so twisted? He's gonna have that happen or something, or is he gonna? Who's he gonna kill, or what is going on here? And at a certain point in this, you get that feeling of like, where's this?
Yeah.
Where's this going?
Because it does
like,
kind of. It's the first time. Sorry to interrupt. It's the first time we're following Benicio.
Yeah.
Up until this point, we've been Emily Blunt's eyes, and that's it. So this is the first time that we're actually. And this, genuinely, if it's not done so well, the film could fall apart here. Because you're going from a POV essentially for the entire film, and then all of a sudden you're completely out of it. And it's not essentially from Del Toro's POV, if you know what I mean. It's very much, we're watching him do stuff. We're not watching it through his eyes, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so I interrupted you, sorry.
No, you're good. No, I think I was just finishing off a point. But this is where most films don't go this far. Like they do, like, okay, it's revenge, but I won't pull the trigger on you until you pull a gun on me. Or this is a film that does actually acknowledge like what becomes of you.
Yeah,
when
but
this happens.
I know you heard it previous to this, but when you hear of how his wife was, well,
yes,
or his daughter was putting an acid bath.
Yeah, it is. It's just after that. It's just before he stops the kind of lower level Hefe on the road, I think, where it's finally revealed his daughter was thrown into a vat of acid and his wife was beheaded.
Or something.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful, because once he gets to the table, and it's the cartel leader with his family, and he sits down and goes, "You sit here." And I love the fact that he goes, "Do your children speak English?" Well, then we'll talk in English. And when he says, "You sit here, you have a family's killed every single day, and you sit here with your family eating food," and it's just because that almost seems like, oh well, of course you'd say that, or so, but then you wouldn't.
No.
To be that cool, calm, and collected, like any one of us would just go in there and fucking do our job.
I know, yeah. Well, it's something very ugly has happened to this man. So he just the nuts and bolts. Like it is an escalation. So he.
But again, also masterclass in tension building, like similar to the Juarez sequence. Because this is 3 or 4 minutes at the table, and each second, each cut is so. What's the word? Intentional. It's fucking masterful. The editing here is fantastic. The cinematography, obviously, because it's literally only static shots for the most part, flicking back and forth. But the choice of when the edit is, when the cut is, like, because Del Toro will say something and it'll hold on him for a good 2 seconds after he's finished. And then it'll cut to the cartel leader and it'll hold on him for a good 2 seconds before he says that.
Well,
like, it's so brilliant.
The whole thing of it, so like he, again, like even back on the road, so he kills the cop, who's someone we've followed, like the film has shown him to us, and we know he's not actually a bad guy or anything. He gets in. Now, this is a bit where I mean, like he's a little, and I'm not knocking it, but it's not realistic to say how good he is with that gun and how well he gets in. But like, you compare it to like your Chuck Norris films or something, where it's like the guy is like, he busts in on him when he's doing something evil, like he is torturing someone, but he just goes into what just looks like a nice house.
Yeah.
And the guy's sitting down to a meal wearing nice clothes with his family, and like it's you do kind of subconsciously go. Because it's logical in one way, but then for a movie audience, like, where is this? Where's this going? Now, and then it goes places.
Right, so I have a question, right? So obviously what happens is he says, he realises I'm not getting out of this, but he tries to do the whole spiel like it was never personal and all this, right? Which is a fucking ridiculous thing to say to someone who's just had their bleeding daughter boiled alive in a fucking vat of acid. Like, but he accepts his fate.
And what he doesn't know is...
Yeah, he says, not in front of the boys. Now, at that point, did you know he was going to kill his family, or did you think he was going to kill...
I was genuinely shocked at what he did. Because I was like, this is a character I sympathize with and I think is cool, frankly.
And he's just fucking...
And look at what he just did. I was genuine. I could not believe... And that never happens. I am rarely that surprised. Yeah. And it was... truly shocking.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It did make you go like, whoa.
And whoever that, I don't have his fucking name, but whoever that actor is playing the cartel leader,
he's very good in
his response, like this, like, because it's like you can see it's like sadness and anger in equal measure. Like he has absolutely no idea what to do with himself.
And he knows he's fucked as well.
Yeah, no, but see, the thing is, well, after he kills him and then he says, "Finish your meal." I'm like, is he gonna even kill him or is he gonna leave him with the fucking pain of it? Like,
and then he shoots him in the stomach. I think.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And like, and then it's like, there's a second after this where there's like a minute or so where you're like, what the fuck? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
see, I can't even tell you what happens immediately after this. Like,
it is truly shocking. Like, for a mainstream American film, like,
what a piece of cinema! Like, do you know what I mean? Because genuinely, like as you said, it's very when you watch so many things so often, and especially if you're a bit more analytical with them, it's very hard to be shocked to the point where you can watch something and go, I know what's about to fucking happen here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Predict what people
exactly.
say.
Yeah. And that can be a fucking cinephile's course, like, do you know what I mean? Because it can just be, it can ruin a thing on you, like, because you're just being over analytical about things.
No,
but this was truly, and possibly the last time I was like, jaw on the floor, like.
Yeah, it was something, yeah.
No, actually, you know what, I tell a lie. When Wesley Snipes came on screen in Deadpool versus Wolverine, I made
reaction.
I made an audible like genuinely, like.
That happened to me in Ready Player One, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But it was genuinely like, because even the way it's set up, like the kids just look like nice kids. His wife looks like you can say you pay your money.
I love the wife when she goes, and because he goes, because the guy mentions, your wife. And it's almost like he's forgotten that he's done his daughter as well, like.
Yeah.
And he goes, and my daughter. And then the wife, it cuts to the wife and she goes, oh no, because now she knows, that's it.
Yeah, we're fucked.
We're done, like.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? She knows before we know that she's about to get our head blown off.
I know, yeah, well, we just, because it's a movie character that we like, we're like, it never crossed my mind that he would do that. But then when he did it, I was like, oh yeah, of course he would. But that's what I mean about the film is like we're both fathers, and I think you relate to it on a level of, well, my life is very simple now. I just want to destroy everything that you hold dear. Like the fact that they're people is immaterial.
Yeah.
Like they're just things, and it's not even like you did it to me, I'll do it to you. It's just like, I'm going to destroy everything that you hold dear. And it does not, he didn't take any joy in it, but he's just like, well, here it is. I'm just going to do this. And that's that. And it's
completely unflinching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not a second thought. Like he knew, see, because the thing is, the audience didn't know. We didn't know. But he knew full well he was going to blow them kids away. Like, you know what I mean?
For fuck's sake,
it's a weird sentence. I never thought it is.
Well, what's amazing, there's no catharsis. There's no sense of like, there's a greater
He's
good
at peace
here.
now.
Yeah. It's just, I actually wouldn't have been surprised. Like if it were me, I don't know if I'd do the family now, but when I picture it, I just like kill the guy and then like, fuck it. Because you're like, what do I have left to live for? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, in the reality of his story, I don't know that I'd even go on revenge. I'd just be like, fuck this. I'm out of here. It's truly, it's for a mainstream film in particular, it's out there and it's challenging, and it made me rethink a lot of the film, and I was like, this is chef's kiss, like really, really good.
It's 91%.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's isn't it? It's straight in then to the kind of showdown with Emily Blunt, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Which again is good, and this is what I mean.
What's he say? He has a great line as well there where he goes, "What? You shouldn't stand on balconies anytime soon."
Oh,
or something, like, do you know what I mean? Everything he says is just ice cold, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's well, the guy, he just looks at her as in like, you don't understand, like. And
he got, there's a great line actually he has. I have it down. You should move to a small town where the rule of law still exists.
No, yeah.
Like, what a fucking line.
Yeah, you see, there's a load of stuff in this film like that, these one-liners that are great, and then when you get to Wind River...
But they don't feel like one-liners, that's the thing.
No, they don't, no. Like the bit where he goes, you're asking me how a watch works. For now, just tell time. You're like, nice. There's stuff in Wind River...
That's James Bondian.
Yeah, it is. I mean? There's stuff in Wind River where it's like... I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a bit at the end, there's a father who lost his daughter, and Hawkeye is like... I went to grief counseling, and he just reels off his spiel, and I'm like, give me a one-liner here.
Yeah.
Don't give me the fucking... But he is a very good writer, so I can see why he'd be like, look, I'll try it out, and blah, 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 blah. And he has his aesthetic, which is like, all of his stuff that I've seen is, whether the direction is as good as this or not, it is living that line of like, very authentic, yes. still kind of heightened. And Wind River, I thought, kind of pushed it again. He had no one pushing back and saying, "Here, man, this needs to be punchier."
And he was at a point in his career where he was the boss. Like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, why not?
Like some fucking exec wasn't going to tell a man. Like, do you know what I mean?
Some interesting stuff comes to that, but this is a better film.
Oh, fantastic!
That's just it. Yeah, I actually just quickly want to mention this film lives in a very peculiar subgenre that I'm a big fan of, which is like incredibly cinematic yet really weirdly very believable movies.
Grounded.
Very grounded.
Yeah.
This Zodiac, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Irishman, and I can't quite put The Godfather in there, but The Godfather kind of lives somewhere in there.
Yeah,
but those are my...
Well, based on the list you just gave, I think there's something stylized or something about, but that's Coppola's style. Like, do you know
I
what I mean?
think The Godfather's just the way it's lit is just a little too much. But a lot of people would put Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve in that category.
I was going to say, like, if you were to, instead of you brought up Prisoners, if you were to rank Denis Villeneuve's,
this is not even close. This is by far the best.
Sicario.
I thought Prisoners was only okay. I know people adore that film.
I fucking love that film.
I saw that. I saw this first, and I think that ruined me on Denis Villeneuve.
It's up. The bar's up here now. Never anything.
I do think he's a good director, and I think he's a very thoughtful director. Friend of mine,
I told you before about. I love his frame.
Yeah.
I love that. Massive, especially when you see it on a big screen. Like little Ryan Gosling floating around the fucking after 2049. Like, it's fucking brilliant. But go on. Sorry.
No, he's a friend of mine who's very hard to impress. Like, he said he saw like one of these things. I think it's on like Variety or somewhere. They like the directors talk about the scenes, and he said, "Oh, I watched it. The guy who
like
did
Round Table or something."
No, it's just him talking about a scene. Like,
Okay,
it is a series that are it's kind of popular. And he said, "I saw that fucking idiot who did Shang-Chi," and he's like, "That's green screen. That's green screen." And then it was Denis Villeneuve, and he was like, "Okay, so in this scene, the eye line is here because of this, and she's looking more directly at," like, he's legitimately thoughtful and skillful, and a good director, an actual good director. Having said that, like, I remember I watched the review of Dune on YouTube, and the guy's like, "Oh, these ships that they have that have wings, like, they remind me of Black Hawk helicopters. That's great." And I watched it and go, "This reminds me of Black Hawk helicopters." I wanted to be weird and fantastical.
Is it worth going to see Dune before Dune 3 comes out? Like, I don't think I'd be into it. Like,
you haven't seen 1 and 2?
No. I've seen the original.
When I did that year where I reviewed films every day, a guy got legitimately angry at me because I didn't really like Dune and Dune 2. So people loved them, and if you like Denis Villeneuve, it's not that he did a bad job. I want the David Lynch version, except that it makes sense. I want a mix of logical, like.
See, David Lynch also misses the boat with not realizing that fucking the main fella isn't a good guy. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I was actually watching it the other day, David Lynch's Dune, and it is shit. Like, you cannot understand what the fuck is going on. But there's individual moments in it that you're like, oh wow. Like, and he gets such good performances out of his actors, and like, it's so weirdly of itself. But like, every storytelling decision is made infinitely better in the Villeneuve one, because he's a thoughtful guy, but Lynch is more like, wouldn't this be great if we did this? Whereas Villeneuve is like, yes, it must make sense, yes. I don't know what accent that was, but he's a Canadian frog, apparently. That'll put him off me now, but sorry, Denis, but that's how I see it.
We love the French on the cinema sessions.
I would put this as easily as best.
It's fucking fantastic. Like, it's so.
Having said, I said
it's
I didn't,
so obviously directed, but not. But it's also, he's invisible at the same time.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly. That takes skill.
No,
like, that's really good. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to contextualize it any further. Like, that's it. It's so heavily directed, but it seems fucking.
No,
flawed.
this is why I have to. This is why I keep it. It's not a documentary, but it's so well done. It nearly seems like, well, that's just how people behave, and that takes a lot of skill. Do you know what one? I don't want to be the hipster guy, but he did that one with Jake Gyllenhaal called Enemy, where it's like there's 2 Jake Gyllenhaals.
Oh yeah, he's. I've seen.
Is it called Enemy?
I think so.
called
Is it?
Enemy, yeah.
Yeah. And
I
it's a
thought
big
that was
spoiler.
pretty good.
I didn't fully understand it. If I'm
Yeah, I
being
didn't
dead
get
honest,
it either. Yeah, but I thought it was well done. I think I probably put Prisoners second, even though I just said I didn't love it, but I thought it was. I
really
some
enjoyed
people
it.
think it is like.
But see, the thing is, it's one of them things. It's like has very much diminishing returns for me. Prisoners. I remember being blown away the first time I watched it, really enjoying it the second time, and then so on. And now it's just kind of a run of the mill. The chances of me watching Prisoners again, if I'm not in a fucking airport lounge and it's on the telly or something, is slim. And that's not because it's not a bad film or it's not a good film. It's just because that everything, it relies so much on the twists and the turns, and once you know them, it's kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's again, I think that's a bit of a problem with that subgenre I mentioned. I forgot to mention that Children of Men is kind of in the same thing. When part of the skill is it looks, as you say, like kind of effortless and it looks like real life, but there is movie stuff going on. And sometimes I find if you're like tired or you're in a bad mood, like sometimes I watch Children of Men and I'm like, this is the best film I've ever seen. And then other times I watch it and it's Michael Caine going, oh, so all these fellas, the Human Project. Oh, the Human Project, these great minds. And I'm like, that's contrived bullshit.
Yeah.
But when I'm on the film's wavelength, and usually it's just because I'm tired and I'm like cranky and I'm like, whatever. But I think sometimes when you watch them, like with Prisoners, you might be like, this is like a documentary, but there's twists and turns like in a normal serial killer. But like when you're jiving with it, it's like chef's kiss. Like the absolute best ones like Zodiac, you're always in the mood for them. My mom was watching Zodiac one time. She's like, oh, who is it? Who turns out to be the killer? Is it his partner? I'm like, what? She thought Anthony Edwards was the killer in it. I was like, no. But then I'm like, in a weird way, that question makes sense because every other fucking film, it is the partner. It's here's one of these. It's one of these characters, and I'm like, no, mom, it's a fucking. And she probably did start watching it like an hour in as well. To be fair to her,
so she didn't get the lore of the Zodiac.
She didn't do the background reading like I did. We'll close the loop on Sicario, an excellent film. So I explicitly said to all three Mexican students, so I think I can speak for the entire peoples of Mexico. Yeah, I said, look, I think the film is very good. I think this, I said, but it is about a bunch of fucking gringos going into Mexico. It is, they're going in there and sorting shit out because Mexico can't do it themselves. No one says it in the dialogue, but it's in there. And every single one of them said, I don't care. If someone, whoever it is that goes in there, whether it's the cartels in Colombia or it's the fucking gringos or they call the CIA the CIA in Latin America. So if you hear them muttering that under their breath and looking at you, that's bad. There was three of them, but they all said, no, I wouldn't care as long as they go in. And one of them even said, and I am completely ignorant, I'm just telling you what she said, the current president is all like, oh, we don't want the fucking American imperialists coming in violating our sovereignty. Who cares as long as they get rid of this fucking, because they're sick of it, like, as you can well imagine. So take that for what you will, you know.
Quote, until somebody finds a way to convince 20% of the population in America to stop snorting that shit, we'll never solve the issue. Thanks for joining us this week.
I will say one of them said she's a girl from Tijuana. She said what she said about Mexico. She said, I'll tell you though, I never was offered drugs or saw drugs until I went to live in the US. And that is something that the film acknowledges in that line, but it is like they're the ones fucking.
Oh yeah, like the biggest consumers of cocaine are just across the border.
Yeah,
fix that and then you fix the problem. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, or just legalise it all and you cut the legs out of organised crime, the global world over.
Well, yeah, wouldn't that be something? Now she did say,
imagine going into fucking Boots and getting a line of cocaine. Like it'd be great, wouldn't it?
Sign me up. Then you'd have doctors snorting cocaine.
Oh, and what?
Because alcohol is. It's like so fucking thick, that argument. She did say now she was from a nicer area of Tijuana, but it does seem to me like it. I don't know. It obviously isn't as big of a problem as it is.
Have you ever seen a South American do cocaine? It is the most scary. Like I knew a guy who did coke, right? And
let's call him Mirror Me.
Yeah. Let's call him P. Yeah. And they used to partake in cocaine, okay? Mm-hmm. And they would be so fucking
filthy
meticulous. Really? To the point where if a speck fell off that key, that was fucking hell to pay. Like, do you know what I mean? Now I've seen South Americans do it, and they'll get their bag and do that because it's worth nothing over there. Do you know what I mean? If you're looking for it, it's so cheap. They don't. It's like a fucking. Whereas over here, it's so expensive. That poor Pete nearly fucking lost his bollocks on it.
I'm just picturing this guy you're talking about. Do you know in Predator 2 when they're having the shootout at the start and then they go in and get all geared up and a guy pulls out a thing and he's like, and he goes, "Come and get it, the Scorpio is ready."
Yeah, that's how Pete.
That's how Pete with his rocket launcher and the fucking Predator coming in.
So non-submersible units. Which there are plenty.
Yeah, there's plenty. All Del Toro, amazing. Like truly, for a great artist.
Yeah,
like,
I'd say
probably the best thing he's ever done.
Obviously, I echo, but I do have to just say Emily Blunt. The fact that she didn't get even nominated for a best supporting
actress. Yeah, we didn't talk about her enough, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, she is the model heart. She's the heartbeat of the whole thing. Like, do you know what I mean? If the film doesn't work, the film is Sicario too.
I think the ending of the film, I think you can read it in such a way as she's like, she doesn't sign off. She signs off. She lets them do it, but she doesn't say, "Okay, you were right." I think that's important, like
because it's like it's the only way to defeat evil by becoming evil. That's the moral quandary she's having throughout the whole thing. Like, do you know what I mean? And at the end, it's not answered, which is kind of good. It's left ambiguous, like, but she just goes, "There's fuck all I can do about it."
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she is. She's very good. I didn't like her as much as you did in Disclosure Day, but that's another film.
Yeah, The Devil's Wear Prada too. Yeah. Fantastic, she is.
Didn't hear that. Didn't see that either. With the Juarez scene as well.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing.
That sequence, like,
yeah,
that's one of the. Like I said, like that is like I can't think of a better sequence in a film, any film. For the past, I don't know.
The only thing going back forward, I didn't see it in the cinema.
Yeah. Because even going back further than 2015, like where's there a better sequence? Like, now obviously that's subjective, internet. So I understand that you may not feel the same, but in my opinion, that's probably might be my favorite sequence in a film ever. Like, it's so well put together.
Can I do a shout out to a commenter? I have seen Paths of Glory, actually. And I still stand by what I... Actually, do you know what? Sorry to break off of the... Some guy commented something like, "Oh, I never saw Saving Private Ryan." And some guy goes, "Well, I think actually what he meant was..." And then he explained exactly what I meant. And I've never been more grateful to a person in my life. I think he just means it from this point of view. And then he explained exactly what I meant. I was like, "Thank you, anonymous internet person. I appreciate you." And he was watching one of our videos. Which is
fair play to him,
star rating, I think we just got there.
5.
Yeah, now I'm a socialist, a world socialist. I'll give it I don't normally do this, but I can only give it a 4.5.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know where I say when I
understand, because
when I first saw it, I would have said a 6 out of 5.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 4.5.
I know, I still, because even coming back to it now after so long without seeing it, and I just went, you know what? This is just fucking spectacular. And the kind of contrivances or the little bits and pieces that maybe aren't perfect. Like the fact that I didn't fucking know whether Benicio Del Toro was lying or tell the truth or anything like that, it does not do enough to take away from just how perfect some of this film is. I think this is almost perfect movie. Like,
nice, yeah. I did see it. I have to watch it after work now, and things are a bit stressful here. So if I had seen it in more relaxed state, I might have been a bit more Like, I saw Disclosure Day on one of the most difficult professional days of my life, so I may have been in a slightly cantankerous mood for such a hopeful film. But yeah, and a good choice for our year anniversary.
Yeah. I forgot. 1 year. Thanks to the 12 people who are with us right now. But in saying that, so next week we had not so much it was a suggestion rather than a request. But for next week's episode, we'll be discussing Lake Mungo, which is something that I had never heard of.
Oh yeah, there's someone with a weird accent in it that you sound like or something. Isn't that why we were watching it?
Oh, no. Your man said I sound like Conor McGregor, wouldn't I?
Oh, right.
Yeah. I think that's what was that.
Why are we watching like Mungo then? That
was
a comment, wasn't it?
Yeah, he brought it up and just said. And I said,
oh, yeah, he just said you should watch this. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
So we're going to...
Better not be fucking 3 hours long or something.
No, but it is like a found footage type thing.
All right,
But
well, see you
I
next
haven't
week.
not read the reviews because obviously this is a film that I never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't, but I did see some of the ratings and it's apparently like really fucking good. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So I am looking forward to it. So that'll be
not?
next week. We'll discuss Lake Mungo. For the 53rd and on to a second year of podcasting behemoths.
It's like YouTube will just say it's been 2 years now once you get over a certain threshold. Brilliant.
Right, so yeah, get us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
All the good
Yeah,
stuff.
and we'll see you on the next one. Here's to the next year.
Ciao.